This episode is brought to you by the members of the You Run Podcast Network. A place where everyone is a loved member of the podcasting community. To link up with these shows and find your next podcast addiction, visit YouRunPodcast.com.
You want to die tonight?
Late at night, I tune into your show, where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in, as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Mark set the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Mark's fucking long roundups. You run podcast, horror movie review, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled. You run podcast. You run podcast.
Michael J. Crocodile Dundee.
Michael J. Crocodile Dundee. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott.
And my name is Mark.
Well, that was very sultry. My name is Mark.
My name is Mark.
Go for daddy.
Be a good girl for
I
Daddy.
need to remove that off your soundboard.
Those two are now my favourite. They'll be played later. We are an interactive horror movie review show where you get to pick the movies that we review every single week. You also get to get involved in interactive features. You get to play along with games. Like, this show does everything that you want it to do. We also have a Patreon where we drop early episodes of this show with no ads, and yeah, there's a lot of fun over there as well. We have a fantastic episode lined up today with a review of a movie set in Australia. We're going to give you our review and our scores. Then we're going to do a deep dive into everything we liked and everything we didn't like. After that, we're going to give some interactive features a try. We're also going to be playing a game that I am incredibly proud of. It's Would You Rather Aussie Rules Edition.
Nice.
Yeah, and it is not what you think, which makes it even more fun. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. This will be the game that will be clipped and used more than any other game we have ever played.
See, I don't know what to expect from it now. Originally, I was thinking like snakes and spiders, but now I'm just thinking Peter Andre skullduggery. I don't know.
It's going to be fun. A lot of fun. As always, I said earlier, you get to pick the movies, and this week's movie, the entire poll was picked by our God tier Patreon member, Kate from Down Under. And incredibly, the only movie she picked that's set in Australia won. And that is Wolf Creek from 2005. A group of friends, while traveling across Australia, make the decision to stop off and look at a crater. Why the fuck they want to look at a crater, I'll never know.
I would.
Would you?
Of course I am. I'm a cultured man. Why would you not want to see that? That looked awesome. It was the most compelling part of the movie. When they did that, I was like, that's fucking awesome. I hope that's real.
It's a fucking hole in the ground. Anyway, they break down and they
killed the dinosaurs, man.
they broke down and they get stuck. Thankfully, there's a nice, helpful local on hand to tow them back to his place, give them some water and get their car fixed up. Well, it would be lucky if he wasn't a violent, rapey serial killer type with a bad attitude and a really bad temper. What starts out as a super fun road trip becomes a fight for survival that will leave them with physical scars and mental ones that will never, ever, ever heal. This film is really good for what it is. Like, the premise of this is so basic, but I don't think it needs to be any more than that.
No,
I think the characters I can invest in, apart from Ben, the guy who plays Ben in this. No, the guy who plays Ben is great. The character Ben is the biggest melt on the face of the earth, and he annoys me from start to finish.
I disagree. I thought he was a very compelling character. You know, he's got depth to him. There's mystery regarding like has he got a girlfriend? Hasn't he got a girlfriend? Like I'm as an outsider, before we even get into it, like he's traveling this country road for 3 weeks with these two women, like to meet his girlfriend. On arrival, my girlfriend would immediately be like, "You've been for 3 weeks with these two women,
In the
isolated on this
in the,
road."
the outback, yeah,
What the
exactly.
fuck?
Yeah. So what we're saying is he's a potentially bad. Well, he is a bad dude if he's got a girlfriend, and his girlfriend is very trusting and understanding, and wrongly so.
I think suspicion arises around his character immediately.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, Despite his this reputation for being brutal and violent, this movie is a surprisingly long, slow burn. Like it has all of those elements that have given this movie the reputation that it has, but man, does it make you wait for them. Like it makes you wait and wait and wait and wait. The star of the show, undoubtedly, is the character of Mick Taylor. He is evil Crocodile Dundee, and I fucking love it. John Jarrett does such a great job in bringing him to life. And when I say does such a great job, like he is the most vile, disgusting, reprehensible scumbag on the face of the earth, and I find myself laughing at 99% of the things that come out of his mouth, and he's actually likable, which given his behavior is mind-bending that I'm like, "You're a really cool oh, no, you want to do that. That's bad. Don't be so rapey. Oh, that was funny." Like, what you just said there was funny. Like, it's bad, but it was funny. Um, I think this film takes a little bit too long to get going. I personally prefer the sequel to this. I've only seen 1 and 2. I haven't seen the TV series, but I prefer 2 to this one. But I had a lot of fun with this again on a rewatch. It lives up to its reputation. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
Solid score. For me, this was a first time watch, not through choice. I've tried to watch this movie multiple times. Like you mentioned earlier, this is a slow burner, and I think for me, the multiple times that I've tried to do this movie is met by underwhelming reception from the first, well, what I thought was the first 15 to 20 minutes, but in fact, it's actually an hour before this movie delves even slightly into sort of horror movie territory. This is an hour and 45-minute movie, and the first hour is spent surrounded by build up that I feel could have been quite easily dismissed within the first 5-10 minutes of the opening segment of the movie.
Yeah.
Now, I say that in hindsight, seeing the entirety of the film, and I have to say I really enjoyed the time I spent with the first hour. And I think I begrudged the fact that I didn't commit myself more to it the first time I watched it, because I would have felt more impacted by everything. It does a really, really good job of building up the character development between the core characters that we follow on this journey. And then by the time we introduce the actual antagonist of the movie itself, it's very hard to not empathize with the characters, having spent so long with them and going on this journey with them. The only thing I would criticize it for in that standpoint is the segregation of these final 3 characters within the closing moments, especially Ben as a character.
Yeah.
He's so isolated from the story to the point where I genuinely thought we were going to get to the end of the movie not knowing what happened to Ben.
See, I genuinely thought when I watched it this time, I genuinely thought there was a moment where the director went, "Oh fuck, we got a bloke in this as well. What did we do with the bloke?" Like that's how it feels.
No, and I think it's played quite well, though. I do think it's played quite well. The fact that he is introduced back again into the fold within the last sort of 10-15 minutes, because it feels very realistic.
Yeah.
It feels like it's not a story-driven movie. It's a situation that you can understand and you can think, right, well, they're not bothered about trying to save Ben. Rightly so. These two have come together on this journey. Ben's just come into the fold later on. They just want to get the fuck out of there and then think they'll save Ben later on. However it unfolds, I get it. And I think that's one thing that I found the most compelling is the realism of the situation towards the end of the movie. Even more so when you get the title card sequence of how Ben's situation unfolded after the events of the attack.
Yeah.
So for me, I like how true to real life they play the situation. I don't feel like the situation's exaggerated in any form. I think that's one thing that makes it so harrowing for a lot of people, and why so many people say it's a really difficult watch, is because it feels very realistic to the events that happen. You know, like it feels like this is how something like this would unfold had it happened in real life. It's not it's not an exaggerated slasher type kind of movie. It's a very grounded in reality kidnapping, capturing situation. And that's one thing that I really appreciated. And I like the groundwork that was done prior to that event with making us as an audience so invested within the characters. I think one of the biggest issues for me that I had the first time I watched this, or the first couple of times I tried to watch this, was how cheap the opening 20 minutes of this movie look. You know, it looked like it's a couple of best mates trying to make a movie, to the point where it almost feels found footage in a certain way, but it's not. It's just really, really under produced. It does eventually get a hell of a lot better, and you can tell that they're saving their budget and the money they have towards the back half of the movie. But it's one of those films where, like, you kind of don't have complete investment to at least 20-30 minutes in, but the first 20 minutes to get to that 30-minute hook is a difficult 20 minutes to get to. I'm glad I had to persevere with it this time around for the sake of the show. I do feel that this movie is a warm-up, and I would like to see a story surrounded within this world where it's immediately diving into the action. The groundwork's done now. We've got what we need to. Let's have a Crocodile Dundee based horror movie off the go. And I don't know whether the sequel delivers on that front, because I've not watched it yet. But for me, that's kind of where I am with this movie. It's a fantastic introduction to this lore and this world, but it didn't quite satisfy my need considering the runtime that it had. I'm not going to shit on it by any means. I think it's a fantastic movie for a lot of reasons. But there are elements where I was like, okay, come on, let's get this train moving now. So for that reason, I'm going to give Wolf Creek a 3.5 out of 5, and that's a very respectable 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, and again, like we say a 3 and a 3.5, and I know there's people who are going to go, oh, but that's a good score.
It's
like,
a very good score. We just get giddy from time to time and watch a movie and give it a 5 out of 5. And again, we base our score out of enjoyment, and I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. It was very good, but we will throw 5s about willy-nilly over stupid shit.
Sharknado 3 has a 5 out of 5.
But yeah, exactly. So we'll throw a 5 out of 5 stupidly, but when it comes to actually being serious and trying to dive into a proper critical review, something like this, you have to kind of put the silliness aside and give a proper genuine score. 3.5 is fucking good, you know.
Yeah, it is. Like, if 2.5 is average, 3 is good, 3.5 is very good, 4 is excellent, and 5 is so good it transcends genre boundaries, which again, I stand by my score for Sharknado 3.
I'm with you there, brother. I'm with you.
Right, let's do that whole ad thing.
Tracking lines and fuzzy screens, the wildest sights you've ever seen. From car boot sales to rare finds too, Garrett brings the past to you. Video Tasty's the place to be for cult films and retro TV. Dust off the tape, hit play today. The West Wales shop, here's a click away. Saturdays are for the spooky vibes, with Chrissy D and Nino by your side. From cryptid legends to the ghosts of old, there's a brand new mystery to unfold. Paranormal misfits, the show you need, where the strange and the creepy take the lead. The besties are waiting for every ghoul. Join the misfits and break the rules.
So make sure you head over to yourunpodcast.com. There you'll find links to all of the network members. There's everything in there from true crime through to TV reviews, relationship advice. Like if you want it and you need it, it exists at the You Run Podcast Network. YouRunPodcast.com. Everything's on the front opening page. All of the podcasts are on there. Click on any podcast you want. You can listen to everything straight on the website or on the mobile app, both of which are available. Also on there are links to our socials. We are at You Run Podcast everywhere. Instagram is where you need to go, especially after Instagram's big purge of accounts in the last couple of days. I lost
I saw someone post about this.
2,500 followers I lost overnight.
I didn't lose one, which is a good thing, I suppose. It means the people who are following me are genuine people. But I saw some people being like, oh, yeah, so if you've lost followers, that means the people who are following you are genuine. I was like, oh, shit, man. Went and checked mine. I was like, oh, well, that's the same as it was yesterday. Hooray for me.
I lost 2,500 followers, but they're 2,500 bots. So yeah. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But I was a bit like, I woke up like, oh, damn it. Like, I'm so much further away from 30k than I was yesterday. What the fuck?
That's a good thing, though, man. That's a good thing, because like the fact that they're cleansing Instagram of that shit. I've been struggling with Instagram at the moment. I've noticed like a real dive in sort of interactions, and I know I'm not the only one because a lot of people have been posting about it. But I don't know. I just push on, do what I always do, and.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I try to play the game with the algorithm at the moment. The algorithm's being a bit of a dick and being like, nah. Like the stupid thing is, I had a reel like 2 days ago, like 68,000 views in like 2 hours, just for no reason whatsoever. Posted the reel after that, which is infinitely better than the one before, 1,000 views. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. I refuse to play the games. Like, I get notifications all the time, like, you would get much more interaction from your account if you posted reels. I'm like, fuck you guys. I'm not posting reels. I'm not playing your game. I'm posting, and that's it. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, we do everything, reels, everything. YouRunPodcast.com for all the links to our socials. Also on there, you will find links to our Patreon. And our Patreon is...
very exclusive. You won't understand.
You won't understand unless you go and subscribe. We've got various different tiers on there, give you various different additional levels of control. So you've got your bare basic bitch one. If you're a basic bitch and you don't want to spend much money, that gives you early access to this show ad-free, so you don't hear this bit. And you get that released almost a week early. You also get early drops of true crime. You also get true crime extra. No, you don't get that. Sorry. On the basic bitch tier, you just get early release and the odd thing I'll throw you, odd bone I throw you, because I'm still not au fait with getting the settings right. If you're on the mid tier, which is our possession tier, then you get early access and you get access to the extra shows, which is You Run Extra, where me and Mark just go off the rails and do whatever the Patreon members tell us, whatever they want us to talk about, we talk about that. And True Crime Extra, which is exactly the same. And you get loads of exclusive content as well. And you get to choose like new releases and stuff we cover. You get more control. And then if you go for God tier level, which
nudes, absolute nudes.
100%. If you're a God tier, like Kate, I think Kate already knows this. Like Kate's God tier. If Kate messaged me and Mark and went, "I want a nude," or we're cancelling, we'll just send it. Have a nude. It's fine.
You would. I don't know if I would.
You would, because I would bully you into it. So yeah, go and subscribe to our Patreon for all of the extra exclusive stuff. Like I said on the last episode, if we praise our listeners, apparently they're more likely to go and do it. So for all of you lovely ladies listening,
be a good girl for daddy,
and go and subscribe. And for all of you guys listening,
are you a good boy? Yeah, you're such a good boy for me, aren't you? What a good boy.
I love both of those sound bites so much. I found them earlier. I was like, they are potentially the greatest sound drops I've ever had on the show. So go and do all of that. Also, make sure you recommend us to a friend. Leave us a 5-star review anywhere that you can. Share our shit. Talk about us with anyone who will listen, and just help us grow, because this year we've grown massively and we keep growing week on week. And yeah, if we can keep it up, we're going to be knocking around with the really big boys, which is exciting. So yeah, get us in with all of these really well established, really polished, really like the podcast Mark was talking about last week, who have all these deep diving facts. Get us in there posting clips going, go on, be a good boy. Get us in, get us in with these really well versed, prepped shows, and me and Mark just rock up like, yeah, we're drinking beers and talking horror movies. Woo, let's go.
Yeah, I'm not ready for the elite group, to be honest with you, because I can't behave myself. And we get invited to things, and then I be me. And you know how that ends for us.
It ends amazingly because then we get thrown
For
out.
you.
For both. When I'm with you, am I any better?
No, this is very true. This is very true. But it's always me that has to dive off the cliff first. You just tend to follow on.
Yeah, so you and me get invited to a big premiere for Warner Brothers or something and leave in handcuffs. That is the most viral reel we've ever put together. Let's talk about Wolf Creek. And I want to start this by not calling bullshit, but kind of calling bullshit. So they open this with, this is based on true events. These are real world things that have happened. Technically, it's not true. So all of the characters in this are completely fictitious. It's inspired by the Ivan Millet case, also the Bradley John Murdoch cases, which, yeah, these were people who actually done this, but this movie's got nothing to do with those people. It doesn't follow the exact stories of those, but it's kind of inspired by it. This is one of those that's based on a true story to make people go, oh, fuck, this is based on a true story. So if you want to know about Ivan Millet, we covered it on You Run Podcast True Crime. But go
Yeah,
and
but is that not the same concept as like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre being based on a true story? You know, like it's a combination of serial killer in the outback.
Yeah, it's
can apply to a lot of things.
Yeah, it's very much inspired as opposed to a true story. It's not. These events that unfold in this movie never actually happened. How they unfold in this movie, but I imagine in the outback of Australia,
They probably did.
Yeah, and I scarily think like this shit happens all the time in remote areas like this.
It does. It does. 100% it does.
Terrifying. I'm not a fan of Ben, and Ben buying this car is the most painful shit ever because he's the biggest fucking wet blanket in the world. He's like, oh yeah, mate, I want to buy this car. Like, I just think he gets ripped off, and I think he knows he's getting ripped off, but he doesn't have enough about him to go, no, mate, you're taking the piss.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'll be honest with you, man. I didn't pay an awful lot of attention to the dialogue within the first 20 minutes of the movie. And again, this is my biggest gripe with it and why I've tried to watch it numerous times prior to this is because it's very fucking boring.
Yeah.
Up until the point where they get to the party and one of the girls wakes up with him, even knowing one of the other girls likes him. That's when we automatically get some sort of investment, time to sort of concentrate on these characters a little bit more. But even then, we're like 25 minutes in before that even happens, you know what I mean? And it's like there is a lot of sort of, it's not even bad. It's not even bad content.
It's just dull.
I don't want to say it's dull,
but it is dull. It's like watching.
Like the movie does. Do you know what the problem is? Is like the one thing that this movie's lacking immediately is a cold open. And I feel like a cold open would have worked wonders for this film. Like if you'd have seen not even necessarily Mick himself doing some sort of crime, but like one of his earlier cases prior to this, but just a silhouette of him or something like that, just to sort of let you know what kind of situation was coming, you would be on tenterhooks immediately.
Yeah.
But like that, you're so slowly drawn into like a couple of minutes opening rolling credit sequence with like beautiful Sydney beach waves or Melbourne or wherever this is. I can only assume, given the barren landscape, this is Western Australia. You're sort of just like drawn into this almost travel documentary episode of what this Wolf Creek movie is going to be about, and there's nothing that immediately grips you, and that's what I really struggle with.
It's got the first part of this movie's got a very similar pacing to the first part of The Beach. It's that kind of pacing. That's the best way I can describe it. Like it's beautiful sunsets. You meet a couple of people, and they're like, they're having conversations, but in truth, you couldn't really give a fuck what they're talking about because it's not really
Relevant
anything
to
to
anything.
exactly that. For me, I don't really get invested until they fill up with gas or petrol. We call it petrol. We're
I was going to
British.
say you slow
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. Well, when they fill up with petrol at that petrol station, that's when I got invested. And you've got all the like proper, I don't even, what would you call them? The
Yeah.
Outback lads in the bar. And the girls are in there. And Ben comes in to like give them the money. He's like, oh, mate, can I talk to you? It's like, yeah, what do you need? He's like, well, we were all going to gangbang your missus. Just wanted to check it was okay. And Ben's asshole falls out. Like, he's like, doesn't know what to do.
But you see, the thing is as well, like I've said this before on various movies that we've covered in the past. Had I been one of those people who had watched this from the off, barring Mick becoming like the icon within horror that he is, this scene would have been more impactful for me because you don't know. They set it up in a way where this gang is probably going to follow those people.
Yeah.
You know, that they're going to follow him. Like as Ben and the girls leave, he's very much sort of like eyeing them as if to say, motherfucker, I'm going to get you and I'm going to get those girls, you know, and then that's kind of where your mindset is with the movie, which in a way, I suppose, kind of works when we do finally get introduced to Mick because he's awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's done in a very good way where you do think they're the baddie, even to the point it's like the shopkeeper who intervenes. He's like, and I love the shopkeeper's like really prim and proper in comparison to his clientele of his bar / cafe. And then like when the girls and Ben have left, he leans over and goes, "Fucking knock it on the head, lads." And they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, mate." And they're all like, "Really? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we were being a bit of a dick, weren't we?" But yeah, how would you have reacted to this if you're with like two girls and some blokes like, yeah, we just wonder if he could gangbang your missus? Like, what would your reaction be?
In that situation particularly, I would have probably caused a fight. I'll be honest with you, but I would have taken him out first because he was the biggest, and everybody else looked up to him. So I would have like bottled to the side of the head, sort of thing, immediately. Not even give him the chance to react, and the immediate fact that he had dropped would have worried the rest of them.
Yes, I think it's an age thing. Like Ben's character's a lot younger, we're a lot older, and we grew up in a time period where if someone said that, you would smack them. And I'm still very much in that time period. He would have, at minimum, got a smack in the mouth for that.
Yeah, I'd have been willing to take a kick in just to show face in front of the girls. I think for that situation, like I think I would have backed myself just out of the pure fact that they would have not expected a reaction. So I would have gone for the jugular early on with the big guy. I'd have wiped him out, and then the other boys I would have been expected to be like, "Oh shit," and then I could have walked off triumphantly. Had the two of them come at me together, following on from that, then I might have had a problem.
Yeah, it would have been, I'd have been counting on the shock and the delay that shock gave me to go, right, come on, the girls, get in the car, let's go.
That's exactly how I would have played it, 100%. I would have wiped him out, hoping that they were fearsome enough for me to get them in the car and flee the scene. However, had they come at me, I know I would have been in trouble because they would have been 2-on-1. They might have got the better. More often than not, they probably would. And then he might have come back round, and then I was hospitalized.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think I'm the same reaction as you. Let's talk about Wolf Creek. So they get Ben's shitty car and they drive off to Wolf Creek and they pull into this car park. And is this meant to be the crater that the meteor hit and killed all the dinosaurs? Because I didn't know that.
I don't know. I honestly don't know because I don't know.
Like, if that's the case,
I mean, there's
really,
lots of
really
different
cool
stories of what actually killed the dinosaurs, whether it was the Ice Age or whether it was a meteor. So it depends on which one you want to choose to believe. However, I don't think the impact from this would have been the one that was big enough to kill the dinosaurs. It's very cool, very, very cool, but I don't know if it's real. I don't know if this is just a movie thing or
it's a real location. I don't know whether I'm assuming it is a real crater. Like,
I don't know if it's called Wolf Creek though, is it?
No, and I'll be honest, I didn't look, and I probably should have. Oh no, in fact, I have got it in my notes. I'm lying. It is Wolf Creek Crater.
Right, cool. But you
So
don't know anything else other than the fact that it's named Wolf Creek.
no, Wolf Creek Crater. And the thing is, it's like
As you can see, we've put a lot of effort into this week's episode.
and remember, we'll be playing with the big boys soon. So yeah, we're going to nail it. The thing is, it looks cool. Don't get me
It
wrong.
looks amazing. Like the fact that you earlier said like it was fucking drab. Like that's
But
amazing to me to be able to go and see something like that. And there was like talking earlier on, like, oh, it's a 3-hour walk. I was like, yeah, fucking get your bags and let's go. Like to stand at the top of the precipice of this crater and look down into the middle of it would be one of the most sort of like like if I'm dying, do you know when like you're dying and you have like apparently have like those scenes where your life flashes before you?
yeah,
This would be one of the scenes that I would like to visualize looking at, knowing I was going onto another plane and be
see,
like, wow, that was fucking amazing to see
see,
that.
I get what you're saying, but I'm also very aware of all of the other cool stuff in Australia that I think would be infinitely cooler than looking at a giant hole.
But you see, you've got to understand as well from the point of the narrative of the movie, these people like going to see Wolf Creek was just a stop off. Do you know what I mean? That's their mission. They're going out, they're seeking out these landmarks, they're doing that cool shit all the time. You know, that just happened to be within their area. Like to me, that was like a mind-melting thing to see something like that. I remember when we went on our honeymoon around Greece and we went and did all like the Athens stuff and things like that. And we went to all the places. Like I'm a big guy for Greek mythology, and we went to all the places that were like supposed to be part of. I mean, I don't believe in Greek mythology,
Yeah,
obviously,
but you went to
like
like the Acropolis and things like that.
yeah, we did all that shit, and I was stood there, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing," you know. And then I watched movies like Indiana Jones, and you get like that temple in Egypt and stuff. I'm like, oh, I would love to see that in real life. That's fucking incredible, you know. And I'm
Yeah,
talking to you. You came up to see us the other week, and I'm like, I'm coming down your way. Stonehenge is like 45 minutes out of the way where I'm coming. I'm going, you know, to the point where you like was like, yeah, you can't actually go.
you can't get near
No, I
it.
was like, no, I want to stand in the middle of it and be like, He's like, no, you can't do that. You're not. You can literally see it through a microscope from like a mile away.
Yeah, like I like things like that. Like when we go on holiday, last time we went away, we went and done like an old like what was it, like 600 BC city,
Yeah,
and what like
they
that's
get their
cool.
tombs and stuff. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we done the tombs, and then we also done like the holiday before we went to an old Colosseum and got to go underneath where they kept like really, really interesting. It's cool to explore places. This is a big hole. This is what
Amazing,
it looks
amazing though, man. Like the fact that something fell from the sky, from out of our atmosphere, and just decimated. And then the way he described it, it was like this would be like what the impact would be of like 300 nuclear bombs
that
combined.
was 100% just Ben trying to chat her up.
I know, I don't know.
And
Well,
that was
he chatted me up. I bought into it. I was like, "Yeah, you smooth motherfucker. I believe you."
You would have kissed him. You would have kissed him. Sat on the bridge of Wolf Creek.
I fucking would have done. I would have smooched the hell out of him. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, like the thing is, for me, that was really cool. Like I bought more into the idea of this crater situation than I did the entirety of the movie. If I'm honest with you, I was like, that's really fucking cool. Love shit like that. So yeah, I don't know what your beef is, man.
I think the cool thing I liked about this is the fact that it's a dead zone, and dead zones are genuine things that happen across the planet, drain batteries, all sorts of shit like that, and all of their watches stop. And when they're just like, oh, my watch has stopped, it's like 6:15. It's like, oh shit, mine stopped too. It's 6:15. I was like, okay. And then they got in and turned the ignition, and nothing happened. I'm like, your car battery's fucked. Like you are and like when you see people get stranded in like movies that are set in America, like in the arse end of nowhere, there's houses and there's towns that are in, even if it's like a 10-hour walk, there's something that's in shooting distance. These people are so isolated in literally the middle of nowhere in the most inhospitable climate, baking hot 40 degrees during the day, almost freezing at night. Like you just that one moment of that battery being dead, and you're like, you're fucked.
But the movie does a really good job of showing how isolated they are by insinuating that garage where they met the hillbillies who were being really fucking crude towards the ladies and stuff. Like, you see the signpost and it's like, this is the last sort of petrol you will get for the next 800 miles or whatever.
Yeah.
And it does a really good job of setting up how desolate the situation is for them. And then out of nowhere, we meet Mick.
The hero arrives, Mick, with his like fucking 25 headlights on the front of his truck. And they're like, oh, like what the first, like, it's a UFO. The whole UFO thing cracked me up. Like, it's a spaceship. Which means it's a fucking spaceship, and they're shitting themselves like in the dark, seeing a light, shitting themselves like on. And all that went through my head at that time was it's the guys from the bar.
Yeah. And again, had I not seen how iconic Mick has become, I would have felt the impact of that more, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Very eerie coincidence happened when they filmed at Wolf Creek. So since they were very, very remote when they filmed this, they did camp. And they camped and they were camping in their car. And in the middle of the night, they got a stranger who pulled up in a truck and started talking to them and asking if they needed any help. They quickly shooed him away, got back in the truck, back in their car, and drove for 3 hours in the opposite direction to ensure they were safe. That's cast, crew, and director.
I mean, the numbers stack against one man, let's be honest with you.
But even so, you're filming a movie about someone approaching people in a car in the outback of Australia and then taking them and murdering them. You're all there settled down and you get some guy tap on your window. Are you all right? But you'd be like, oh, we're out of here. I'm done. Fuck this. I'm not making the movie anymore.
No.
But yeah, Mick, I think, is so cool. And he does friendly so well. Oh, what's happened? Oh, yeah. Oh, no. And like, he goes and has a look at the car. He's like, oh, yeah, it's fucked, mate. I've got the part, but it's back at my place. And they're like, oh, well, it's like, well, you can wait if you want. Like, someone will come through and get you probably tomorrow. Like, what makes him so good is he's not at any time pushy.
No,
he's like,
and that was what was really cool about the idea that I particularly drawn to, was like, he never at one point makes them feel like they need him. He's like, well, I'm not asked, I'm going this way, you're going that way. You can either come with me and I can fix you up, or you don't take my offer. I don't give a shit either way. I tried my best and I'm on my way now.
Yeah, I'm leaving in 10 minutes. And I like the fact the girls are like, go talk to him. And Ben's like, no, you go talk to him. They're like, no, fuck no. You go talk to him. You're the big burly man, Ben. You go speak to him. And he's like, and they make him ask how much. He's like, how much would you be looking for the part? So Mick's like, what, you think I'd fucking charge you? Fucking something wrong with you. Like, really makes him feel a dick for asking. And then he's like, and then as soon as he tells the girls it's free, they're like, yeah, cool, we're in. The towing scene, like this silent drive back to his place, it's really unnerving.
It does a good job of insinuating how long they are traveling for as well, because you see the girls fall asleep at multiple occasions throughout the time of the travel. So you're like, that this is a distance that they're going to, even to one point where one of the girls is like, well, we've been going for a long time now. And he's like, well, yeah, he said he was like pretty much out the way. So I think that does a good setup of the desolateness of the situation.
Yeah, I think it does. I also really like the set design of this mining camp that Mick set up in, where they pull in and it almost looks like it's carved out the side of a mountain. It looks cool as shit. And it's like cluttered with loads of junk and cars. And it kind of looks like an abandoned garage is what it looks like. And Mick's like, to be fair to him, he's really nice to him. He's like,
nothing like rainwater from the top end.
That was their first mistake. I'm going to say it now. If you ever go anywhere, do not take strange drinks off strange people.
No. Immediately fucking do not do that. Like, that was the biggest mistake. And I knew it straight away. I knew it straight away.
And the thing is, it was like 2 minutes earlier, they were saying that they had water. He's like, oh, try some rainwater. She's like,
oh, no, they didn't. They said that was the one thing they didn't have.
Oh, I thought they said that they've got loads of that. I thought they're being sarcastic.
No, there was like, that's the one thing we don't have. And then that's why they took the water from him. It's like, we've got everything but. So they did take the water from him. But yeah, still, I think I'd have gone thirsty, man. I'll be honest with you. And they should have all gone thirsty in this situation. But the thing is, it's hard to not to when he's such a nice guy. You know, he portrays himself as such a welcoming person and he's trying to help them constantly. But the immediate moment where Ben does that's not a knife. This is a knife. And Mick feels like he's being mocked. And the death stare. Oh, it was insufferable how long the death stare went on. Another conversation happened and he was still doing the death stare to the point where Ben was like literally quaking, to the point where this is the most uncomfortable experience I've ever had in my life. He even looks at him and then like looks back again as if to say like, oh shit, he's still looking at me.
The thing is, like, if that was me, I think I'm socially aware enough that I'd be like, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to insult you with that. Like, that's my only knowledge of people in the outback is Mick Dundee. That's all I know. I would have tried to shut that shit down, and I'd have made a big gesture of like, really sorry, didn't mean to insult you. That was really rude of me. Thank you again for, like, I'd have backtracked it. But Ben, again, because he's a fucking wet blanket, just went, oh, I've upset him. I better sit here and be quiet now. Like a naughty schoolboy. I'm like, you're a dick. Absolute dick. And also, like, after they've had this insult, Mick's like, well, I guess I'll go fix your car then. None of them offered to help him. If that was you and someone was fixing your car up for free and giving you a tow for like 4 hours and giving you something to eat and giving you water, would you have asked if they needed help?
Yeah, 100%.
I
really put myself in this situation in the first place. I'll be honest with you. I think it's very fucking skeptical from the off.
Yeah, but it's like just not offering help really wound me up. Like, why has no one gone, do you need a hand, mate? Do you like me to hold a torch? Do you need me to fucking like fetch tools for you like I did for my dad so you can shout at me like he did when I got it wrong? Like, whatever you I'll help you out. But nothing. They're just like, oh yeah, cheers, mate. We'll leave you to fix our car and we're just all going to go to sleep. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, you are right. You are right. Yeah, in that situation, there definitely should have been some sort of offer of assistance, but no, they don't. They leave him to it, and this is where things go wrong.
Yeah, that they all pass out from the drugged water. Something that's really unnerving. John Jarrett is a method actor. He stayed in character all the time, even between takes.
Wow.
Just no, absolutely no. Like, when they call cut, he's still in the full mix swing. Thanks, mate. I'd be proper freaked out.
Yeah, because the thing is as well, like we've said on this episode already, he's a likable dude.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So like having that experience off screen and off camera and him still doing the same thing must be really jarring.
Yeah, it would really get me, especially because then like when they do call wrap for the day and he does come out of character. Like if you've done like a 12, 13 hour shoot and between takes he's still Mick, and then at the very end of the day he turns into John, go, cheers, see you later, thanks a lot, see you tomorrow. You'd be like, the fuck, what's just happened? Liz awakening zip tied.
Yeah,
it is something that is scary, but the cable tie she was held with, like I had this conversation because Lisa watched this with me. I had this conversation with Lisa. I asked if she knew how to get out of cable ties, and she didn't. And I do. Do you know how to break cable ties if your hands are cable tied like this?
No.
Okay, well, little safety tip for everyone. If your wrists are cable tied together, if you sit and you put your legs next to each other really, really tight and you force your arms down put your elbows either side of your legs, and you do it with as much force as you can. It will hurt your wrist like fuck, but it will snap the cable ties, and it will do it in one swift motion.
Yeah, to be fair, I do unpack a lot of boxes and stuff and things like that from work, and force general yanking tends to be the way to go.
Yeah, so and I know that because I watched it was like a kidnapping style documentary, and there
Of
was like
course you did.
this like I don't know what you call it, but he was like an FBI slash special forces investigator that was involved. And he's like, if you ever get caught in cable ties, this is how you do it. And the bloke who was interviewing basically went bullshit, and he went, give me some cable ties. They zip tied him in like literally one motion. And he's like, yeah, like I've cut the backs of my wrists, but you don't really bleed a lot from there, but I'm out. I was like, that's cool. And I watched that, I don't know, 15 years ago, and it stuck with me. It's one of those pointless facts that will always be there. If I ever get zip tied, I'm gonna be like, boom, I'm out.
I'm going to put this to the test next time we're together. I'm going to be honest with you, because like I just don't feel like you would do it.
But that's fine. You can do that next time we're together, which will probably be for love of horror.
No, it's your wedding, so I'm going to zip tie you up at your wedding. I'm going to video it, and as a Patreon episode on your wedding day, you're going to Houdini out of some zip ties, seeing as though you reckon you can.
We'll have to do that before the ceremony.
Oh, yeah. No. It'll have to be after the ceremony. Jesus Christ, I can't send you up to your fucking wedding day down the aisle, like bleeding from the wrists. Lisa will think, Jesus Christ, you're having that much of a bad day.
So Liz gets out. So Liz is one of the two British women. She escapes and climbs out the window. And she's about to leave when she hears Kirsty screaming. The torture shed is just, oh man, like Mick's gone from being the friendly, nice guy to being really, really, really rapey. And some of the stuff he says, like, I think the one that stuck with me is, yeah, don't worry, love. I always wear a rubber when I fuck you, look, 'cause I don't know where you've been. I'm like, oh, mate, that's fucking awful.
Yeah, but to be fair, though, you should always wear protection.
You really should, but you shouldn't be raping people. Fucking
no. But if you do happen to find yourself in this situation,
like he's bad, and he's beaten the living fuck out of her. He's tormented. Like it's bad. Like this is a really rough torture sequence.
The thing is, like, from this point out, everything about this movie is very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In all honesty, like it really shifts a gear, and I don't know whether that was an incentive and a plan from the off for it to be such that slow burn and that calculated sort of false sense of security with these characters, to the point that when you do get here and it is so horrifically violent off the bat, that it is so gut-wrenching, and it works. Don't get me wrong, it very much works from that perspective. But it's not nice. It's not nice. It's not nice to see somebody that you've watched for an hour and you've very much been behind and been like, yes, you're a really cool character, to then have to see her in such a harrowing situation. And again, for the other girl as well, who's peering through the window, watching her friend endure such fucking horrible fucking situations. It's difficult. It's difficult as an audience to have to endure that. And I guess that's part of the pacing of the movie, but it's the biggest.
This back end doesn't work as well if they haven't spent the time to make me care about these characters, because I genuinely care about both of these girls. I'm like, like when he's like fucking like pulling the knife out and he's fucking around with his gun, I'm like, oh mate, you need to fuck off. Like you need to stop. Like she needs to, and I'm willing her to do something to defend it, or I'm almost shouting at the girl outside going, fucking do something, make a noise, throw something at him, do anything to make this stop.
Yeah, no, you're right, you are right, but it just doesn't, and it just goes on, and it just lingers.
Liz is good though, where she sets the fire to distract him. I thought that was really clever, to lure him out, and then sort of gets in while he's fucking around with the fire, gets in to try and save her. I find the confrontation between Mick and Liz really uncomfortable where he comes back in.
Yeah, I have a little bit of an issue with Liz sort of doing what she does.
Well, she
And I
shoots
don't
him.
think it's unbelievable what she does. No, not necessarily in this scene. It's prior to that where she causes a distraction and she goes sort of like all. I think the thing for me is we're like, this movie is so grounded, you know, like
Yeah.
it's a really, really grounded movie. And I think in that instance, I don't buy into the fact that she would do this. You know, I don't buy into the fact that she would go to the expense of setting this car on fire, then turning the gas on this bottle and causing this explosion. You know, it took me out a little bit in a certain degree. Do you know, like it kind of just felt like I don't know. I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, there are people out there who probably would in this situation. Don't get me wrong, but there was one moment. That was the only moment, and I'll be honest with you, it was the only moment in the movie where I was like, no, I don't know if you would.
Yeah, see, that bit is probably the most far-fetched bit of the movie. The bit that comes after where he comes back in and Liz pulls the gun on him, and he's trying to basically go, hey, you know what you're doing, the safety's not on. And it's really uncomfortable because he goes from being arsehole to trying to be really nice to like get the gun off her to be an arsehole. And she shoots him and she puts him down. She gets him in the neck and he hits the deck. And then she wallops him across the back with the gun.
Because you can't reload it.
Because you can't reload it. But all that's going through my head is smash his face in.
Yeah.
Anything heavy, squash his head. Like this movie ends being a traumatic event at the moment she knows he's dead. But she never puts him down properly. And it bugged me so much, especially considering 2 seconds ago, she was fucking John Rambo causing explosions outside.
It wasn't even that. It's as soon as she unstrapped her friend, the fact that her friend didn't get a screwdriver and drive it through his skull.
Yeah.
You know, like those moments every time for me in horror movies when they happen, I'm like, that's unrealistic. Like for me, if I was in that situation, I would immediately want to ensure that that was the end. You know, I'd be fucking smashing the guy's skull in to the point where I knew he was not getting back up.
Is that because we've watched too many horror movies, though?
I don't think so. I think it's just natural logic, you know, like that's what you do, I think, in that situation. And they don't, you know. And again, if they had done, the movie wouldn't have movied. So you have to give it a bit of grace for that reason. But yeah, I just think there was a point where like you should have not necessarily showed them as being strong-willed enough, and they could have just immediately fled after. Like she should have shot him in the neck and panicked from her actions from doing so.
Yeah, and
which
then
would have
run.
justified why they ran, as opposed to logical thinking, because she shows logical thinking to the point where she wants to put the double tap on him. But then just because a gun doesn't work, she's in a fucking warehouse full of machines and knives and fucking screwdrivers and all the rest of it. She could have just picked up anything to finalize a blow. So for me, that was one of the moments that kind of took a step back, and I was like, I'm not buying this that much.
Yeah, I think from here, I think the level of intensity of this movie is non-stop, and you're constantly on edge. So they jump out, they get in his truck, they fucking drive away, ram his gate, ride off into the outback, and then you can see his lights of his car in the fucking rear view mirror because he's up and he's coming after him. Like this whole chase sequence is awful.
How much did it annoy you though that when they're in his truck and one of the lights fall off and it's like flashing in the car?
Yeah.
To the point where neither of them decided to move that out of the way so they could see the road properly. They were just happy driving through some sort of fucking Prodigy live tour.
and nearly go off a cliff in the process.
And nearly go off a cliff.
I didn't understand, and I still don't now, what possessed them to push that truck off the cliff.
No, I do. I thought that was perfect. I really liked that. That was a really, really cool thing. Because, like, of course, you would. The reason, the issue I had with it was the way that they decided to stay close to the situation. Like they could have very easily ran left or right and been well away from the situation completely. So what they do is they stop at the edge and then they decide, right, let's push the truck over. He'll see the headlights go over the edge of the cliff and he'll think we haven't seen it. We just drove off the edge. Perfect. Brilliant alibi. But then what they do is they just climb over the cliff edge themselves to hide when they had more than enough time in the sheer darkness of the landscape to just go left or right away. They
And
could have
just
got into
disappear.
the bushes and disappear.
Yeah.
Pretty much what Ben does at the end of the movie. They could have done that here and they chose not to, which was a very, very stupid thing to do.
Yeah, it was. One thing I found this that I thought was really cool is that is a real cliff, like a proper high cliff. They filmed at night, and the two actresses, which is Cassandra McGrath and Kelsey Morassi, insisted on doing this themselves, even though there were stunt doubles. So they had them harnessed in, but also they had the director of photography, Will Gibson, who did not like heights and had no intention of going over the cliff. The director's like, yeah, I could really do with some shots like over the cliff. So they then had to harness him up. There's some really cool behind the scenes photos where you could see the whites of his eyes as he's hanging off the side of this cliff. And you can see he's like, we need to get this shot done quickly. And you need to get me back up the fucking cliff because it's a long way down and it's very dark. And I love things. Those are the sort of things I love. Like a director of photography, he's there to shoot something in the outback. It's the most flat terrain on the planet. And they're like, you cool with heights? I'm in the outback.
No.
Why do I need to be cool with heights? There's a cliff over there. We want you to go hang off it on a harness. Okay, I guess. I find it frustrating for the two girls that they have to go back. Like they know they're
Well, only one of them has to go back.
Yeah, one of them has to.
Which
go
I
back.
didn't understand the decision here for them to split because I don't know if her injury
She was shot.
sufficient. Yeah, I
She
don't
was shot in the leg, wasn't she? As she was running away, he gets her with the sniper rifle.
Does he?
Yeah, he gets Kirsty in the leg, which is why she can't run.
I missed that. I do apologize.
Yeah, that's why Liz went back on her own because she sort of patches her up and basically goes, "You need to stay here because you're going to cause me more problems than you're going to solve."
Right, I completely miss that. I thought she just left her because she was in shock, which makes the situation much more different than what I interpreted it to be. The fact that she actually was shot makes more sense. And that was one of the biggest gripes that I had. I was like, why would you like separate in that situation? Why would you go back solo and be the Rambo mission and leave her there, which was in the close proximity of Mick as well, by the way, not just leaving her in a safe hiding place. He was still roaming around trying to find the vehicle below. So I didn't get that, but yeah, that makes more sense.
The reveal where she finds the stash of Mick's stuff is mind-bendingly good.
Yeah, so I love this scene a lot. I love the culmination of all of these scenes, actually. I like the fact that she goes initially to the garage where he had Kirsty and she gets all the guns and she's trying to load different bullets into the guns and can't figure out which is a very realistic situation and makes more sense than I going full Resident Evil and just all of a sudden arming herself with shotguns and sniper rifles and knowing exactly what she's doing. And she gets armed with a fucking big ass Desert Eagle, which I was like, that's cool as shit. And then she drops it into the hell pit where she finds all the bodies. Again, a very cool scene. I don't know if in that situation, regardless of how shocked I would be, whether I would leave the gun behind.
I think that was genuinely I need to get the fuck out of here. It was I don't give a shit about anything else now. I just need out.
No, I don't know. Given what she's up against, I don't know if you would leave the gun. But she gets out of there, and then she gets into the next room, and she thinks she hears Ben, which was nice. The fact that Ben got a bit of acknowledgement at this point, and you were hoping she was going to find Ben, and then she goes into the other room, and this is where she finds all of like the suitcases, and this is a whole complete wrong turn kind of situation where it's like suitcases and dolls and toys from previous victims that Mick's had in the past, and they find the video camera of Ben and he's filming, and then you see Mick's truck in the background, which is really, really cool. So it's like, did he tamper with the vehicle while they were in the gas station in order to cause them to break down a couple of miles down the road?
Yeah,
Kind
and
of
I
thing.
think the heartbreaking bit of this for me was where the first video she looks at is of a family, a
Mhm.
father, a mother, a father and mother, and a little girl, and I'm like, oh no, like that for me was like, fuck, like Mick is got no remorse and he doesn't care who it is,
No.
male, female, adult, child, whatever. If you come in his way and he comes across you, he's going to drug you and he's going to kill you and torture
Uh,
you and do
and
God knows what else.
And that's it. And I think that's one thing that this movie does very well is the fact that we're talking about how like Mick is a funny guy and like we're all supportive of him and he's like the cool antagonist of a situation. But then there is very much a lot of subtle implications to showcase that he's a very heinous character. You
Yeah,
know, he doesn't matter whether you're female, male, children, it doesn't matter. He's just, if you're in his path,
you're gonna get killed.
he's taking you down.
It's like the hunt for him. And what comes next, I think, is probably one of the most heinous scenes I've ever seen in a horror movie, where he confronts Liz,
Mhm.
chops off her fingers, first of all, which is fucking horrific, but
Well,
then
he
does
gets her with a machete in the back of the car seat, which was cool.
yeah, he stabs her through the she gets in a car, starts it, she's like, has a big sigh, and then he stabs her. Lisa made a good observation, like, how did he know she was gonna pick that car? And I was at this point, I was like, "Shh, no one
Yeah,
cares."
yeah,
I don't
100%, yeah.
I don't care, like, this is who cares? This is cool. And then she, like, crawls out and he chops her fingers off, which is awful. And what he does next is, like, he's like,
I
"There's
do like, before he does that, I do like when he has the moment where she pulls out the fucking Swiss Army knife. I was
yeah."
like, as your friend said, "That's not a knife. This is a knife."
Yeah. Which is funny because he's fully aware that Matey was taking the piss, and
Yeah,
to bring it full circle, brilliant. But yeah, him explaining that there's a torture technique that allows someone to remain alive and not die, but they can't run away anymore.
head
And
on a
it's,
stick.
yeah, severing the spinal column. He lifts her up, stabs the knife in her spine, gives it a good wiggle, and then he's like, "Ah, like head on a stick, because now you are just a head on a stick." I'm like, "That's awful." Like all that went through my head is, "That's it. Like at this point, I was like, movie's over."
But you know what the most harrowing thing about that is? Is like, he's gonna keep her alive.
Yeah,
And the earlier comment he made about like the girl, you see a previous victim where she's had her head decapitated and she's like strewn up against a wall. And he was talking to not Liz, the other one, Kate, I believe her name is. And he was saying, "Oh, she was great. She was one of my best. She lasted about 3 months." And
yeah.
it's like, like Liz is in for that, regardless of the fact that she's paralyzed at this point. That makes it even worse.
Yeah, because she's
You know?
fully aware and can't do anything to defend herself at all, which is just
Yeah, and that
awful.
was one of those moments for me in this movie where I just really took a step back and I was like, "Oh, holy shit." Like, I know we're laughing at your quips and your one-liners, but you are a despicable human being, and this isn't the end for her as a character.
Yeah, it's bleak. It's bleak as fuck. It's Christy is the friend. So Christy makes a break for it at this point, and she ends up on the highway, and like someone stops to help her, and I'm like, "Ah, she's been saved." And he like gets her in the car, and he like puts a blanket, and he's getting like a thermos out of his boot to make her a drink, and then all of a sudden, blood spatter everywhere. I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then the next shot you see is through Mick's scope. I'm like, "Oh no, you're so fucked." And like
And
she,
I like the fact that he didn't just do cleanup straight away.
no, he's fully focused. The thing is, because he's so remote, he's like he can do what he wants and clean. He's got time. It's not like there's going to be a cop passing by in a minute.
Mm.
So like he takes out the old guy, she gets in her car and drives away, and they have this kind of almost Fast and Furious moment because Mick's car is cool as shit, and they're banging against each other, and she pushes him off the road, and I'm like, yes, she's gonna get away. He so casually and calmly gets out of his car, positions himself, gets his sniper rifle, pops a tire, tumbles down, and then like slowly drives up, almost like he's done this 1,000 times. Fucking another one's run me off the road. I'll have to sniper this one. It's that kind of vibe, and
Yeah.
it makes him so much more menacing.
Yeah, it is. He's a very menacing character, and he's a threat, you know. And I think the fact that he shows such simplicity in situations like this is a concern, you know. Like it's a worry in terms of how easy he executes situations like this, you know. And that's one thing that gets me really pumped for what this franchise might hold. I mean, he gets shot in the neck,
Yeah,
and he brushes it off like he's got a dead leg.
He says it to the girl when he chops her fingers off, and she's screaming about her fingers. Like, I got shot in the fucking neck. You don't see me complaining about it. I'm like, oh man, just so bad.
Yeah, yeah. And like for me, I was like, oh well, this is the end of the movie, and there's still like 15 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Like, well, where could it go next?
But the thing is, he like torches the car. He puts the bodies in the car and torches the car, and then he starts driving back. And as he's driving back, we cut to Ben. How Ben is pinned to that wall is fucking awful.
Yeah. He's a
Like-
braver man than I am. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I would have it in me to pull myself from the crucifix that he's on.
I think you'd have. I think it'd be one like he does it very slowly, and it makes it very uncomfortable to watch. I think in reality, in that situation, it'd have to be one of those like when you pull a band-aid off. It'd have to be a 1, 2, 3, fucking yank as hard as you can to get your arm off.
But you say that though, like given my job in construction, I've been in situations like this before. You know me, I've fallen off roofs and all sorts. So like I've shot myself with a nail gun through the hand before. So what I was doing was I was building a wall, had hold of one part of the wood, had the stud in place, shot through with the nail gun. It's gone through and it's gone into the hand.
Ow.
So like I'm like pinned to this, that's pinned to me. I'm now part of the wall. We are as one, if you will. And like it doesn't hurt. Like it sounds really shocking, but like that doesn't hurt. Like the initial impact, you don't feel it. You don't even know you've done it until you move.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you move, every single nerve and tendon in your body feels it. But then like to will your body to then remove that, it's a fucking task, man. Do you know what I mean? Like I've done it. I've lived it. Do you know, like that you can't just like when you see it in movies and stuff, and they're like you get stabbed and then you see them pull that out. It's like no, that doesn't work. You can't do that. So like I've done it before, and like you can't physically do that. Your brain doesn't work in the way where you would think it would, where you could be like, yeah, just 1 second and you just pull, because every single millisecond of that situation feels like an hour. Like I've had to get like, so when I did it, I've only done it the once, but when I did it, I had to get somebody to physically pull it off.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I couldn't physically do it myself, because my brain wouldn't allow me to do so, because every single, like I say, every millisecond felt like an hour. So like I've had to get somebody to just grab my hand and just pull it off. And don't get me wrong, it weren't a hospital situation. It's just a pinhole, and you bandage that shit up and you get on with your day. But when you're in the moment, so when you're seeing Ben tied up like that and you're seeing him pulling off, you can't as much as you would like to mentally think that you could just pull yourself out of that situation, you can't do it. Your brain just does not allow you to endure that level of pain so simultaneously. So like I say, when I did it, somebody had to physically pull my hand away, and it didn't go through to the other side, but it was in deep enough, like I would say at least 2/3 or halfway through the palm of my hand, that I couldn't pull it off. I was like, I can't physically do it. they had to yank my hand off, and immediately once it was off, that was it. That was
It was
fine. I
fine.
was like, it was fine. It was like it was a done situation. But even the slightest twinge of a finger, I could feel that shit like a fucking electric shock through my body. You know, so seeing a scene like this in a movie where you see him having it come through his full arm, you're
Yeah.
like, there is no possible way your mental physicality could make you do that like you did.
Especially not being the wet blanket you've been for the entire movie. Like
I don't know. I like Ben.
he gets out and he does what the girl should have done. He just picks a direction and just fucking goes and doesn't stop until he collapses, which I think is the only and best course of action that he had. He gets found, he gets rescued. He's dehydrated, he's hallucinating, he's not in a really good way. The final images of Mick walking off into the sunset, which is a cool shot. Silhouette of Mick, Australian sun, looks great.
Yeah.
And then we get the sort of what's it called? Not prologue. It's the like after
Epilogue.
epilogue. Thank you. Where it's like, yeah, Ben was arrested and held for 4 months for the
Because he
potential
was under
murder.
suspicion, rightly
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, for the murder of the two girls. However, no bodies were ever found. Eventually, all the charges were dropped. Ben's now moved to Melbourne, as far away from this shit as he could possibly get. And I'm like,
Does he come back for the sequel?
I can't remember. I was going to say I'm not going to tell you, but it's not that I'm not going to tell you. I can't tell you because I can't remember.
That which means he doesn't, because you would immediately know.
Yeah,
It
I
would be an entirely
genuinely
different
can't
story.
remember.
Like, it would be one of those cool movie sequels where like Ben's just ruined his life. He's like Jamie Lee Curtis, Halloween 2018 kind of shit. That's a good setup to bring him back for that. But no, like I love this epilogue more than I loved his ending in particular. The fact that he survived it, but he was still scrutinized for it because they had no evidence, you know. And again, like the police searched all these areas, and due to his shock and sort of confusion of the situation, they couldn't pinpoint a location, which shows how vast the situation is and how vast the area is that they're like sort of residing in for the location of this movie. I was just like, oh, this is fucking harrowing, man. Like I get the fact that you would immediately suspect him of these crimes, but that in itself just shows how easily widespread a situation so confined as this can be in such a country as big as Australia.
Yeah, 100%. And do you know one thing I found that I thought was really, really cool? The Moonlight Cinema in Melbourne confirmed that this is the biggest screening of a movie they've ever had. It attracted the most people they've ever had to their little theatre, to the point they needed to stick it in pretty much every screen. Because after it had been out other places for a couple of days, they got it. 2,700 people turned up to watch it, and in the end they put it into the park and they put it on a big screen in the park to fit everyone in.
Wow, that's cool.
Really, really, really cool. I'm going to keep my score at a 3 out of 5. I think that's fair. I think it probably deserves more than that, but like we said earlier, I score on enjoyment, and this for me is a 3.
I can't remember what I said. Did I say 3 or did I say 3?
You said 3.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it warrants any more than that. I'm not going to bring it down because it's not anything we've discussed on this episode that would sort of sway my vote on where I am with it. I still think it's a 3.5. I'm excited to watch a sequel. And I know this has got a TV series as well. And I know that probably dives heavily more into the lore of Mick than what the movies will ever give us. And I am going to do those now, especially after finally getting to the end of the first movie. I will dive into the sequel and the TV series because I'm a slasher guy. I do like this kind of thing. And I think in terms of horror movies, this is one thing that I would go for more than any other. Yeah. And I think what they achieved with this first movie definitely sets up my need for more in regards to what this lore is and what he is as a killer.
It opens the door for so much potential, this first movie.
Exactly that, and I think I would like to think that the sequel would immediately dive into that and deliver on that front. So I will definitely be checking out Wolf Creek 2. And I think if the sequel's as good as my mind would sort of lead it to be, I could see me upping my score. However, based on the confinement of what the first movie is, I'm going to stick with a 3.5. But I'll be honest with you, I really like this movie for what it is, and I think
Yeah.
given the groundwork it has set out, had the sequels and the TV series built that up to be more and developed that character to be more, I could see me raising my score and being like, oh yeah, Wolf Creek's a fucking franchise to be reckoned with, man. It's a really, really cool horror sort of entry, you know?
Yeah.
And I'd like that to be the case, and I think it will be for me. I'll be honest with you, given what I like, and you know my taste in horror. I can see this being something that I'm really, really into. So I'm going to check out the sequel. I'll give you guys an update in the coming weeks on what I thought of part 2, and whether it would have changed my score or not based on where I am now. But right now, I'm going to keep it at a 3.5. But I can see, if I do dive into this franchise a little bit more, me appreciating this first movie a lot more than what I do right now. You know, it's one of those
Yeah.
movies where you'll go back and be like, Wolf Creek 2 is fantastic. The TV series really dives into all this. And if anything, all it does is make me appreciate the first movie even more. You know, I can see it being one of those. So, but right now, I'm going to stick with a 3.5, but I'm going to give this franchise a little bit more time. And I hope I can bump that score up by the back end of this year.
Okay. 3-word reviews. We got quite a few this week, more than I expected for Wolf Creek, if I'm honest. Tristan Hooper, not Crocodile Dundee. No shit. Definitely not Crocodile Dundee. Jimmy Mutt, bleak, slow burn. Yamityville Horror went head on a stick or head on stick. Lumberjay Reviews, underrated horror villain, 100%. Old and Nerdy Bastard, now that's knife. Real Joe Grizzle, holy shit intense, and Horror Keeps Us Sane went with Mick Taylor Icon. And I've given final words on this to Kate from Down Under as she picked it, and she just went simply with avoid the outback.
And she's a native. She knows.
Exactly that. Right, it's time to play a game. I teased it earlier. It is the Aussie rules version of Would You Rather. It's got nothing to do with Australia. I've just taken the premise of Aussie rules football, where basically the gloves are off and the rules are out the window, and I have pushed Would You Rather to levels that it has never been before.
So you've basically just created something that has nothing to do with the game, nothing to do with the movie, and you're just using it as a free pass.
It's just a really brutal version of Would You Rather. So there's a few of these. We'll do these until you basically tap out, because I've got quite a few. Would you rather sneak into a blind person's house every day and move 20 daily used items to completely different places, or call the suicide hotline every day to brag about how great your life is?
Oh, that was fucking horrible, man. I mean, to be fair, it might lighten up the days of the people on the other end of the suicide hotline. I feel for those people who have to endure that shit day in, day out. So I'm gonna choose to cheer up the people on the other end of the phone.
Okay. Would you rather every time you're sat next to a black person, ask them if they're going to be a problem, or have everyone you ever meet believe that you've been to Epstein Island?
Right, so you're not pulling any punches early on with question
No.
number 2. Right. So say that again. I have to say
Would
what?
you so every time you're sat next to a black person, you have to ask them if they're going to be a problem, or every single person you ever meet believes you've been to Epstein Island?
Um, I mean, I don't want people to think I've been to Epstein Island, but at the same time, I don't want to be racially stereotyping every black person I meet on public transport. Right, okay. So I am. Do you know what? I'm gonna go with the Epstein Island option purely out of the fact that I don't feel like it would bring less repercussions. But
Okay.
that's one thing that I know I could act out.
Okay. Would you rather every time you hit the space bar on a keyboard, a random lesbian gets launched into space?
What
Or,
the fuck are you doing, man?
or every time you hit enter on a keyboard, a random gay man will appear and try to hit on you?
Wow. I'm sorry to all the lesbians out there, but you're going.
You're going to space.
Get your helmets ready.
Would you rather every time that you climax, the song Oops, I Did It Again plays, or every time the song Oops, I Did It Again plays, you climax?
I mean, it's not a big hit these days, I'll be honest with you. So I don't feel like I'd have to worry about it in public places. However, every time I climaxed, having that serenade might be kind of nice. So I'm going to go with the first option.
Okay, from here on out, this is where they get really unhinged.
Really?
Yeah. I may or may not have been drinking when I put these together. Would you rather go to a mental ward and tell every patient that it's been you in their walls all along, or go to the child amputee ward and sing a rendition of If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your Hands?
Oh. Now, I'll be honest with you, given the opportunity, if I could go into a mental institution and just fuck with them to the point where I could be like, it was me all along.
Yeah.
I'm going with that option, regardless of whether would I rather.
Okay. Would you rather every time you fart, you fully Tourette's a racist or homophobic slur, or every time you yawn, you have to full on punch the closest person in you next to you in the face, regardless of their age?
Uh,
Bear in mind,
yeah,
you have young children that you may yawn around.
yeah. I'm going with the fart option in this.
Okay. You're gonna just randomly
I'm
throw
not
out
going to
race.
clarify any more than that.
No, okay. Would you would you rather every time you watch a horror movie, you get an erection that lasts the entire duration of that film, or every time you get an erection, a random old age pensioner has an orgasm?
I mean, I'm a serviceman. Do you know what I mean? I'm here for the greater good of the people. So, you oldies, you're welcome.
Okay, we got three more. If you can make it through all three and give me answers, you're a better man than I. Would you rather complain to a homeless man about how bad your shower pressure is, or tell a wheelchair user that you understand because sometimes your legs fall asleep?
Oh man, the irony of going to a homeless man. I'm going with the homeless. I'm going with the homeless. Yeah, I'm going with the homeless.
Okay, the two worst
I'd
ones.
like to go up to them and explain to them how my wife didn't cook my eggs properly this morning.
Would you rather attend a little person convention and complain loudly that God didn't bother finishing any of them, or would every time you buy clothes, the cost of those clothes is deducted from the sweatshop worker who made them?
Oh. Oh. Now. Oh, that was a conflict. I'm gonna choose the little option.
Oh, that I'd go with the sweatshop worker, I think.
No, man, they've been through enough.
The last one, which, yeah, I don't know. This one may get, we don't edit, but this one may get edited out depending on how this goes. So would you rather wear a Pet Cemetery t-shirt to the funeral of a kid who was hit by a truck, or complain about your children to a lady who's unable to have children but desperately wants them?
Ah, I feel like I've probably done this at some point in the past. I'm gonna choose definitely not wearing the Pet Cemetery t-shirt at a funeral, because that is fucking harrowing. Just like the fucking knackered up sneaker with a blood on it, and no, that's
no. The t-shirt is the truck with Gage like stumbling into the road. It's that shot. That's the shot.
No. I'm definitely not doing that. There has been multiple situations in my life where I've complained about having children to people who have probably been like, I really wish I could have children, unknowingly to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I haven't gone out on my way to do it, but like, I think one thing that you realize as a parent is like how lucky you are to be a parent, but you don't see that in that moment. And as a parent who is having children who are very young, you constantly moan like fuck about how unlucky you are as a person to have children. But yeah, there is a lot of people out there who wish they could have children and don't realize that we as people are very lucky to be in that situation. And again, that's a perspective situation, but I'm 100% shitting on anybody's hopes and dreams as opposed to going to a funeral wearing a t-shirt that says roadkill on it.
Okay. And that was the very unhinged Aussie rules would you rather. If you liked that, I'll happily bring that back because I can make loads of those. There's something wrong with me in my head. It is time.
The darkest shit I've ever heard on this show.
And the thing is, we laughed all the way through it.
We did.
He's the king of the spool, the lord of the stack. If it's on magnetic tape, there's no turning back. From the floor to the ceiling, he's a mastermind hoarder, keeping analog alive on the edge of the border. Rewind, right under the static flip. It's Mark, VHS from the crypt.
What up, bitches?
So sorry, I couldn't see you. There's just a big plume of smoke in front of me as he come back. There's me toking away on my vape in the advert, and I come back and there's this big plume of smoke covering my head.
So this week, it was a difficult week for me actually this week, and then it wasn't once I immediately put the light bulb moments together. But it was one of those moments where I was like, "Fucking hell!" Like Wolf Creek's like such a bleak movie. Like I can't think of anything that would contrastly go up against it for me to recommend as a viewing experience compared to what I have in my VHS collection. Then all of a sudden the light bulb moments came on. And then I realized the ultimate movie that I can showcase to you, which would be the softcore version of what Wolf Creek is. This is a movie that I love unconditionally. I don't know why we haven't done it on the show yet. It is criminal, the fact that we haven't. But if you wanted a version of Wolf Creek that wasn't as fucking grim and as bleak as Wolf Creek, then you guys should be checking out the movie Roadkill.
Never seen it.
What? You've never seen Roadkill?
Nope, never heard of it.
Dude, I don't want to be best man at your wedding anymore. You're a dickhead. How have you not seen Roadkill? How have you not seen Roadkill?
It's the first time hearing of it right now. I've never even heard of it.
You, man. How have you not seen Roadkill?
I just haven't. It's never popped up in my life.
Right, guys, listen. Everybody listening right now will know this movie. The fact that we run a horror movie podcast and the fucking host of this show has never seen Roadkill is, in fact, American listeners, this movie to you is known as Joyride. Joyride is what you guys will know it as.
Hold on.
No, right. The fact that you've already said gas already on this episode, and then now the fact that I give you the American anecdote of what this movie is, and you're like, oh, light bulb moment, already pisses me off.
Is it Paul Walker?
Yes, it's Paul Walker, Steve Zahn, it's fucking Lily Sabowski.
I have seen it. It's Joyride. I know it's Joyride.
No, you don't know it's Joyride.
I do.
You're English. Don't be a dickhead. You're an Englishman and you live in England, so therefore you know it as Roadkill. The fact that you even compare it to Joyride already pisses me off. Already pissed me off. You pissed me off.
I bet it's on Amazon or whatever streaming service I watched it as Joyride. That I didn't see it when it came out on
The
physical
fact that you've
media.
even seen this pre-fucking Amazon streaming service is annoying me.
Okay, well, tell me all about it anyway.
It's the best movie ever. It's the best movie ever. It's like it's Wolf Creek, but just like with a PG rating. In a sense, it's not. It's still a 15. It's still got violence in it. It's still got gore in it. There's some really, really cool scenes in it, but it very much follows the beat of Wolf Creek, just without the really, really dark and nefarious tone to it. Wolf Creek, Roadkill is a fantastic movie. R.I.P. Paul Walker. This is one of your best shit. For me, I will always remember you as the guy from Roadkill, not from the Fast and Furious franchise. And Steve Zahn as well. Steve Zahn, as much as I love him as a very comedic actor, he is fantastic in this movie. He's very much comedic throughout this movie, but this is a really, really fantastic sort of thriller movie that follows the beats of a weird road trip through desolated landscapes, and then a guy in a weird truck tries to take him down. The climactic moments of this movie in the motel is top tier. I'd love to get this on the show. And again, this is a Eurun podcast. If people request episodes and request movies, we will do them. So if somebody really likes this movie as much as I do, request that we do Roadkill. We will get this on the show. And Scott will have to endure the entire episode calling it Roadkill instead of fucking Joyride, which just pissed me off beyond belief. I'll be honest with you, dude. I can't believe you said that to me tonight.
I'm really sorry. Make sure you go and follow Mark at VHS from the Crypt on Instagram. He showcases a whole host of excellent VHS stuff and other cool stuff as well. Like he's just shown us now, like he's got a great copy of Joyride there. So make sure you go check Mark out at VHS from the Crypt. That is it for this week. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review because those will encourage Mark to come back and continue to work with me. It also helps us grow. Go and check out our socials. Obviously,
you've annoyed me tonight. Do you know what? No, I'm actually really pissed off about that. Like, I'm really pissed off to the point where, like, why are you saying gas?
I don't know.
Right. All right. That I can forgive. I can forgive the gas thing. You know, we did it early on. And
it was a
slip. Mistake. It was a slip. You know, you forgot your roots. But Joyride. No. Listen to me right now. Joyride. Where do you live? Where do you live?
Did you never go joyriding as a kid?
No. I didn't go joyriding as a child. That was not a thing. Because I'm not American. Child. I'm not an American man. I'm an Englishman. We drove around fast and furious. We hung around in Halford's car parks. We didn't go joyriding.
We did. I mean? Like Halford's car parks with CB radios. Maybe that was
tonight. I'm really annoyed at you tonight. You've ruined this segment of the show.
Come back and join us next week where Mark won't be as annoyed at me because we're covering a really, really cool movie. We're covering one that I've been dying to get on from the very first season, and I know Mark loves it. 30 Days of Night.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, I do love 30 Days a Night.
Or known by its American term, Vampires in Alaska. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you next week. I'm now going to go play nice with Mark so he comes back, and we'll see you all next Tuesday.
I just want to know if we're like just doing things by the dollar now, or I don't get where this show's going anymore. I really don't.
Right, okay, bye everyone.
You want to die tonight?
You're on podcast. You're on podcast. Late at night, I tune into your show where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Mark set the scene. I hang on every word, lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Mark's fucking long round up. Round up, round up, round up, round up. You're on podcast, horror movie review, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled. You're on podcast.